Alright, so we're gonna get into part 12. And like this is basically because I hit 40 subs, I'm going to finish out the sports festival and kind of go over the epic battle between the like All Might fight where he basically passes on the torch. Um, I was gonna wait until 50, but like I got to pull like a double today at work, and I've also got to um, like I don't have that much time in between like the double and like my other shift for work, so I won't have time tomorrow to like sit down and record this and upload it. So I'm gonna upload like a few more episodes today than what I had planned on doing. So with that, we get back to the 1v1 fights, and Izuku kind of like meets up with Katsuki because him and Todoroki are going to face off in the semifinals, and he he asks Katsuki to like either give up, like he asked Katsuki to like, can you please just like see the match, like there's something that I have to take care of with Todoroki, and the only way I can do it is if we actually fight. And Katsuki's like, what, you want me to throw this and everything? Do you know how hard, you know what this is, like for what this means and everything? And it's like, dude, Katsuki, you already know, like you have a hero agency that you're going to, like you already know that that Sir Night Eye like asked you to come to his agency for like your internship after the sports festival. Like you already have one, and I know you're already going to go there. And Katsu's like, that's besides the point. Like me and you've got to have our fight. And Izuku's like, fine, okay. If you give up with this afterwards, we'll we'll go out into the fort. We'll go out into like out of town and like into like a large forest or something and clear out a section, and then we just have our fight then to see like who improved the most. And Katsuki's like, fine, Izuku, like you obviously, you don't ever say like breaking the law and rules and stuff, and like you really like want something, so I guess. And then Izuku's like, well, you can't like make it obvious, you know. And Katsu's like, I understand, dude. Like, I'm not an idiot. Like, I'm not a nerd like you, but I'm not an idiot, you know. And I'm like, they both kind of like started laughing and everything. And at this moment, Endeavor like comes up to Todoroki and Izuku, and he's like, so you two forced my son to use his flames and stuff like that. And both Izuku and Katsuki at the same time, because like, Izuku knows it, and Katsuki just thinks, like, Endeavor's kind of a fucking dick, and he's not a real, like, in Katsuki's eyes, he tells Endeavor, is like, I don't think you're a real hero, and I don't give fakes the time of the day, and, like, Katsuki runs off, and then Izuku turns directly, like, she is, Katsuki, that was kind of rude. And then he turns around to Endeavor and is like, I apologize for my brother's attitude, but honestly, I don't care for anything that you said after what I've learned, what you've put Todoroki through. And this is kind of like shocks Endeavor and everything. And so the match basically goes how you think it would between Todoroki and Katsuki. Katsuki uses like he keeps going up and like his power and stuff, slowly forcing Todoroki to like use more and more of his flame side, to eventually like he like basically takes like an ice pillar and some flames to like, basically he's flying, and then he kind of like dives into the flames and like kind of stops a little bit and purposely takes like a hit from the ice pillars, and flying, like, like creating a micro explosion, like sending him force out. Oh, then he purposely lands on, like, the outside of it. And he's like, wow, I guess you're stronger than what we thought you were. And Todoroki's like, shut up, I'm here to win it. I'm not gonna, like, half-ass things like you did. And this kind of pisses Katsuki off, and he's like, man, shut the hell up. You don't even realize, like, how much I was trying to freak... Ah! That damn nerd, I'm gonna get him for this. And he just, like, basically flies off. Like, doesn't even, like... And flies up, like, off the stage and everything, and, like, goes to the room. And then, like, in the waiting room, like, before, like, Izuku was, like, he's heading, like, Katsuki, like, comes up to Izuku and, like, holds him up against the wall and is like, you better keep your promise about the fight, Izuku. You know what that... Ugh! So frustrating what he said. Like, you better go in an all-out fight with me. Because, like, at this point, like, Katsuki is a little irked with, like, what Todoroki says when, like, he was just trying to help him out and everything. And Izuku just, like, puts his hand on Katsuki's shoulder and is like, I know, man, like, thanks for this, but there's just... I guess, like, you'll find this out, but there's things that happen between him and Endeavor, why he never really used his fire side. And, like, I kind of... Like, the only way I can do it is, like, if we're fighting. In Katsuki's like, what do you mean? And it's like, he see him, like, that scar is something that seems like is holding him back and, like, everything. And, like, I've offered to do it, but, like, it looks like I'm going to have to forcefully do it. Sort of. And Katsuki's like, oh, okay. Well, you better keep your promise about the fight, man. And Katsuki basically goes off and he meets up with Uraraka. And so Uraraka is like saying, whoa, like you did you really did you kind of let them win? And Katsuki's like, and don't want to talk about it. And she's like, okay, fine. Seems like it's a touchy subject to somebody. It seems like someone feels a little emasculated. And Katsuki kind of like thinking in the back of his head is like, if I didn't like you, woman, like, ugh. And so they basically go up to the stands together and they're sitting with each other. And this is when Momo comes up and sits next to him. And Momo's like, so I guess you two really are dating. And Uraraka blushes, and so does Katsuki, because, like, it's kind of new to them. And Katsuki's like, well, I heard you're dating my brother. And, like, Momo just turns beet red. And at this point, like Hiroshima's sitting next to Katsuki, and he's like, wait, so it's true then? Izuku is dating Momo and Kendo then. And Katsuki's like, yeah, like, dang fool, like, couldn't choose between the two. And Uraraka and Momo are talking, like, about, like, the whole thing too in their group, and Katsuki and Kirishima are just sitting there talking. And Dinky comes up to him and he's like, yeah, like, so, like, I guess, so this is kind of awkward. Like, I didn't even get into the finals, and I didn't even really get to show off. And Katsuki, like, says, so Lightning Rod. Everyone's kind of like, Eric's like Dinky a little bit. It's like, who you calling Lightning Rod, you little firecracker? And it's like, who you call firecracker? And it's like, and Kirsten was like, guys, chill out. Like, the match is about to start. wonder how like Izuku was gonna like do this against like one of his girlfriends. And at this point, like Momo blushes a little bit more, kind of hearing that. And Dinky's like, yeah, like, you know, like I didn't really get to show off like the training that I've had, but like thanks to Izuku, like I've kind of gotten a little bit more control over my quirk, and I wish I would have been able to show it off. And Kirishima was like, oh well, like wait a minute, do you know about like this gem? And like Kirishi, like Dinky's like, yeah, like Izuku took me by there like yesterday, and I got a form and stuff, and my parents agreed to it and filled it out, and I turned it in there this morning, and like I planned on going there this afternoon after the sports festival. And Kirishima was like, yeah, so why don't we both go there, and like we can, like I can kind of like give you a few pointers too, and like we can kind of like work on like our quirks a little bit, because it seems like it seems like and then we can kind of like go over like our quirks, and like maybe like we can help each other out in some ways. And Dinking is like, yeah, that sounds like cool, man. Like, and so like that afternoon, Kirishima and Dinky will go there, and they'll kind of like work on their quirks and stuff like that. And so we cut back to like Katsu's like, shh, you two, like the match is about to start. You're gonna like want to watch this. And Katsu's like, and knowing Izuku, he's not even gonna like, he's just gonna mess around, and like he's not really gonna try like to really win. He's just gonna try to like help her out. But I know he's not gonna let her win, because he wants to really fight Todoroki. At least he better, because I'm gonna be rough. And at this point, Uraka's like, calm down. And so the mic starts, and Kendo like winks at Izuku, and she says, she kind of like Izuku kind of like is kind of shocked at this, as she's just like slowly walking up to him, and she leans in and says, you owe us a date. And then she says, I see the match. And everyone in the stadium is like, what? She didn't even try? What is going on? Just how strong is young Bakugo here? Or should I say young Midoriya? And this kind of pisses off Todoroki. He's like, so is anyone taking this festival serious? These fools. And he's kind of saying this in his thing. And as Izuku's walking back, he catches a familiar scent, and he kind of follows it. And then as he walks around a corner, he sees a letter sitting on the ground. It's like, I know you're probably going to like try to like heal that boy, but if you do, just be ready for the consequences, because it will confirm it, and he will come after you. Like, I'm sorry, but I still can't come out of hiding yet. There's just things that I have to take care of first. Like, I just can't do this yet. I'm sorry, young Izuku. And Izuku's just standing there like, what is her problem? Like, who is this person? Like, it's not Mom, but she kind of looks like her. At least like what Mom did when she was younger. And she like has a similar scent to Mom and me. Who is she? Like, is she my aunt? she's mom's sister or what? Like, this is something that's really been bothering Izuku, and he hasn't really told the like All Might, Nezu, and like Katsuki about like what this woman looks like, really, like about like what she smells like, and like about her eyes glowing. So Izuku, like, so we get a few minutes past and everything, and it's the match between Todoroki and Izuku. And right off the start, like Todoroki's like, so you told me if I'm only using half my power, I wouldn't even stand a chance. So just to prove that I can beat you, you're forcing me to use my fire aside that I freaking detest. And Izuku just starts cackling like, I knew it. I knew you were just a weakling. That you're just gonna let your daddy dictate what you do, right? And this is kind of like shocking everyone. They're like, whoa, what is up with this kid? Like, what? He seemed like such a cool, like a nice guy and everything. And both Momo and Kendo and Sarai, like at the point when Izuku's kind of saying this stuff, and Momo's like a little worried about this, and then Kendo like leans over to her and is like, "Don't worry, like he's just acting out. Like I figured something was going on because how Katsuki like through the match and everything, and then Katsuki kind of looks over at her and is like, don't you dare say anymore." and she like gives like Katsuki the look, and it's like, I understand. And basically like she's whispering like to Momo, and it's like, yeah, like I feared something was going on, like how Todoroki and Katsuki's match went. And she's like, oh, so like this is just an act. And she's like, yeah, it's just an act. Like he's trying to help out Todoroki. You really. And she's like, man, like he'll even play the villain to like to help someone out, I guess. And like, and her rock is like looking over, and she's seeing like the worried face on Momo's face. She's like, don't worry, we know Izuku's like doesn't really mean this. Like, he's really a nice guy. Like, if he was such a bad guy, like, do you think Odoro would even like talk to him if he was a bad guy? And they're like, yeah, you're right. And it's the same thing with Ida. Like, if he was such a bad guy, Ida would never like hang out with a rascal. And they're like, yeah, we understand. It's kind of weird. Like, he never really behaves like this. And she's like, yeah, no, it's kind of weird. Katsuki's like, man, you guys don't even know the half of it. So the match begins, and Todoroki sends out an ice wall with like flames coming up behind it. As Izuku punches through the wall, like he gets burned, and he's like, oh, so I guess I do have to actually put forth some effort into this. And then all of a sudden, like blackish bloody tendrils start coming out of like his forearms and stuff, and like start wrapping around like his legs, and he's just like, special move, speed blitz. And like he just blitzes up to Todoroki and basically wraps him up, and he lifts one of his hands, and like one of his tendrils like basically like he uses to like slash his hand, and he puts his hand like over Todoroki's scar, and he's like, you've always been held back by your father. You've always been held back by what happened between you and your mother. After this, man, you need to go see her and talk things out, and to kind of like help you out, I'm taking this from you so you don't have any excuses to fix what's going on with you inside, dude. Like, I get it. I lost my dad when I was 5. Then 2 years later, my mom dies. At least you have your parents. At least you have your biological parents. And Izuku's kind of tearing up at this, and this is like making Todoroki, like it's just complete shock. Like like just seeing Izuku's face like this, and then he just feels a sharp pain as Izuku says, "Damage absorption, damage redirection," and basically takes like the scar off of his face, and like Todoroki sees a scar like form on Izuku's face and then like disappear. And there's a slight bruise underneath his like Izuku kind of has like a black eye now. And then Izuku's like, "I see the match, I'm done here." And then just walks off. And they were like, "You saw that, ladies and gentlemen. It looked like Izuku. It looked like young Midoriya was going to win. But for some reason, he gave up." And he's walking out and everything, and Todoroki's like just sitting there like in complete shock, just looking at like as Izuku walks off, as he's like tearing, as he's like hears him crying and everything. And he's just thinking, he's like, "Whoa, I've been such a big baby. Like, I never knew he was constantly going through all that. Like, I mean, I knew like he lost his mom at a young age, but he lost both of his parents, and he's kind of right. Like, yeah, my mom is not like all there, but at least she's still around." And so this is really touched like Todoroki. And afterwards, like he kind of like Endeavor like comes up to him and is like, "So I guess you no longer have that scar then." And Todoroki just looks at Endeavor and is like, "Look, I don't hate you anymore, but I have no respect for you. Like, we may share the same name, but you're not really a father to me, Endeavor. I appreciate the stuff that you've taught me, but as of now, I'm going to become my own hero and prove to everyone that I'm nothing like you. I'm going to become a better hero than you ever were, Endeavor." And then Todoroki just walks off, saying like, "I got more important things to deal with right now than you." And so he finds Izuku, and Izuku's like in the room kind of crying, and he hears a knock, and he's like, Who is it? Whoever it is, just go away." And Todoroki just walks in and he's like, "Why'd you give up the match?" And then Izuku turns around and he's crying and everything. And he's like, "Dude, like, I'm sorry, but like, we're gonna talk after this, and everything's settled, and all the ceremonies and everything. Me and you, we've got to talk." And then Todoroki just runs out the building. And so during the award ceremony and everything, All Might's handing out the awards, and he gives the like third place awards to Kendo. And he's like, "Young Kendo, you've grown a lot since the beginning of the year. Keep up the good work, and one day you'll become an excellent hero. Young Bakugo, today you've made me proud. You've shown that you can limit yourself and that you've gained more awareness of your surroundings. Keep up the good work and improving, and you'll become the hero I know that you can be." And then he comes to Izuku, and he's like, Well, I guess we're going to like stop calling you young Bakugo now, I guess. So young Midoriya, you showed extreme patience, and I kind of know that you could have like won this, and I understand what you did. But don't be doing stuff like that so reckless. You've got to learn to be more decisive with your decision making. You got to learn to be more like young Bakugo, and he's got to learn to be more like you. That's why we kind of teamed you guys up together a little bit. And you guys kind of work together really well. Young, and then he's like, finally. And then he gets puts the first place medal around Shoto Todoroki's neck, and he's like, young Todoroki, I understand that you don't have that good of a relationship with your father Endeavor, and things may not have been better, but I hope now that you understand some heroes have a tragic past, and it shows a lot that the heroes that become truly great overcome those hardships to prove to the world that no matter what it throws at them, they'll always bounce back stronger. So take what you've learned here today and apply it to your life, young Todoroki. And I believe you can become a better hero than even me someday. And with that, we come to an end to the sports festival. Now, I kind of had to rewrite this because I was going to go over a few things, but I decided it would really, like, what I want to do would really make more sense with the fight where All Might kind of passes on the torch to, like, young Midoriya in canon. And that's going to change with it. So thank you guys for the 40 subs. With this, the end of the sports festival comes in. Thanks for the likes. And if you haven't, like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't already subscribed. And I will see you guys in the next video.